Hi! I would like to apologize for leaving you guys on a cliffhanger again. But as you can see, I have moved out and I'm currently filming in a half-empty apartment, which is very echoey. Anyways, this is what happened in the last video. I would be out with friends and get a message that she's having a panic attack, and I always have to leave because of my girlfriend's panic attacks. But little did I know what actually caused those panic attacks. I was cleaning up her room and saw a Kirby DS cartridge. Something was in there that was not a Kirby DS game, and this something was going to put an end to our relationship. You can't be serious. Inside this Kirby box was a bag filled with brown powder. I asked Rachel what that was. She looked at me and casually informed me that I was holding a bag of heroin. I'm actually amazed that a good amount of people guessed the contents of the Kirby box correctly. I need to think of better cliffhangers. For the sake of not getting demonetized, I'm going to refer to that opiate as H. After showing me her H, Rachel went on a frenzy. She went through her sock drawers and be like, this is where I put my coke and this is what expired weed smells like. This is salt, by the way. I'm just kidding. Like, this girl was showing me her entire collection like it was Pokemon cards. Why even have the H in a Kirby DS box? Only people with good taste are allowed to know her secrets. I was worried that I was dating a drug lord, but she assured me that she has stopped taking stuff for like a year. And I asked her what made her go clean, and she told me that it was because she was getting panic attacks every time she took something. And, this doesn't quite add up because she had like panic attacks 5 times a week. So I asked her if she really quit it, and she said yes, and naive as I always am, I believed her. But we are all seeing the same things here, right? She gets panic attacks when she takes it. She told me she didn't take it anymore, but she still had panic attacks, and a bag of, you know what, in the Kirby DS box, it makes no sense, it doesn't add up. So the next question was, why did she start taking it? And she told me it was because of a movie called Trainspotting. She watched it when she was 16 and it made her curious, and I was like, how is this girl so easily influenced by media? No one tell her what Call of Duty is, holy shit. And because of that, Trainspotting has become her favorite movie, and I really don't understand what part of this movie inspired her to take that, because I watched that movie with her, and all I can say is it feels like more of a don't do drugs movie, because it shows all the bad sides, and she was like, oh man, that sounds good, ruining my life. And things kept getting worse after my discovery. Now that the cat was out of the bag, she wouldn't stop talking about it. To the point where I asked Rachel who she loves more, me or H. And Rachel told me the truth. She will always love H more than anything and anyone. So I lost to some powder in a bag. With the knowledge of her consumption, her quirks started making more sense to me. Rachel always had problems staying in reality. She would misjudge, misremember, or misinterpret something. Misinterpret. I don't know how to pronounce that word. She always managed to saw the worst in people, even if it wasn't even there. She was so paranoid of everything. Which maybe explains why the moment I start talking about things, communicating in our relationship, she would stop listening. But you know who she listens to instead? Who she confides to when she has a problem in our relationship? Instead of, talking things out with me, she talks with literally anyone else. And yes, I'm specifically talking about someone. And that someone was a teenage boy named Jake. He wanted to date her really bad, but before he could do that, they went on one date and then I just swooped in and made her my girlfriend. So yeah, that guy is a bit, he doesn't like me a lot. We don't know each other, never met him, but I know he hates me. And that exact same guy would keep comparing me to his toxic ex, excuse me? So Rachel was convinced through him that I was basically the reincarnation of his ex-girlfriend. And I almost got gaslighted into thinking that I was a toxic girlfriend. But her reasonings were so flawed that I just realized she was stupid. Well, it's a bit mean to call her stupid, but she doesn't have the best understanding in people. She tends to view every action people make as black or white. There's no gray area. You're either the best human being or scum in her eyes. And Jake just gave her more reason to view me as a bad person, which doesn't make sense, because if she confronted me with like her problems in the relationship, like one-to-one, eye-to-eye with me, and not the guy who's into her and hates me, then maybe we could have talked things out, but she never did. And when I tried to say something, she didn't listen. I don't understand why people suck so much in communicating in a relationship. Like, why would you talk about anyone else about your relationship trouble besides your girlfriend? And I remember 3 of the advices she quoted from him. Number 1, we had a deep talk thing going on one night and we opened up to each other. And I talked about what I went through with Katja, like all the trauma, and she stopped me dead in my tracks and said,
Jake's ex-girlfriend would frequently trash talk her exes, saying they were all psychos. This is such a red flag.
I think talking about your exes when asked, and she did ask, is not a red flag. Except when they excessively talk about it and they convey to you that they're not over it, which I did not. But hey, if my future girlfriend is curious, I will just link her to my videos. You get everything in detail with some nice visuals. Awesome! Dos. Rachel had some anger issues. She was yelling at me, and when I say that someone's yelling at me, then I mean that they're yelling at me. And she always did so for no reason. Like, she would get ready in the bathroom in the afternoon, like brushing her teeth, brushing her hair, and I would want to join, because I thought it would be cute, like a cute couple thing getting ready together, but she was having none of it.
Can you move? You're in my way.
We didn't even have a fight before that or anything, but you would think we would, because it always came out of nowhere. Like, not gonna lie, that one hurt my feelings a bit, so I backed off. Then I was trying to salvage the mood a bit. I saw she had this cotton pad package, and I saw like she was using that cotton package in an inconvenient way. Okay, I was talking a lot, but basically, this is the pad thing. And they had it open from the top, like just ripped open. You cannot even open it from here. And then they just reach down to get one. And like if it's down there, you have to reach in with your whole hand, and it's just stupid. And instead, you can just open it here. Like there's the thing to open is right there, and then you can just take one out. Look, babe, you can just open it from below, so you have an easier time accessing it.
Can you not touch other people's stuff? This belongs to my mom, and you broke it now.
That was just unnecessarily aggressive. I left the bathroom, and outside was Rachel's mom looking at me with judgment and I guess anger. Because her daughter just yelled out that I broke an item of hers. I didn't even want to explain myself at that point, so I went straight to Rachel's room to calm down. Rachel came back into her room after some time. I don't know what has been said or what happened, but I remember one thing. I was bursting into tears. I was just crying, and Rachel stood there and stared at me and just said the sentence,
Stop it. You are manipulating me with your tears. I know exactly what you're doing. Jake's ex-girlfriend would manipulate him all the time with her crocodile tears.
No, I'm crying because I'm legitimately sad. The heck? And number 3, there was this really sus guy, one of Rachel's classmates, again. And I had a bad feeling about him from day one. He would openly flirt with Rachel even though I would be literally in front of her, and get really close to her or put his hand on her lap even though she told him to go away and don't do that. I once even had to physically grab him off of Rachel when we were in the elevator together because he was overstepping every boundary in existence. And that wasn't even the worst thing. I wish that was the worst thing, but they were at a sleepover once and he was sleeping next to her, and under the blanket next to her, he was playing with his ding dong. Imagine my surprise when Rachel told me that she was going on a road trip with him and his friends. I'm not someone to tell my significant other who to hang out with or what to do, but right there at that moment, I did tell her to not go, cause that's a horrible idea. That's the worst decision to ever exist. I know she's not the good decision maker, but come on! I told her not to go, she didn't listen to me. Even Rachel's mom was okay with it, so I told her to tell her mom what he did under that blanket when he was sleeping next to her. So her mom, who hates me, agreed with me. She actually took my side, which says a lot about the bad judgment that Rachel was about to do. So Rachel ended up not going, and she resented me for it.
You're like Jake's ex-girlfriend. Now I have to ask you for permission to do anything in my life.
And unfortunately, unbeknownst to me, some other girl took the place of Rachel at that road trip, and the worst case scenario happened, of which I feared would have happened. And even with that knowledge, Rachel hated me for ruining her road trip. Girl, please, where is your cervello? I think this is brain in Italian, I'm not sure. As you can see, Rachel is kind of in her own world. Really bad judgment. And she was also prone to outbursts and mood swings. Her cloudy judgment didn't stop here. Rachel got herself a fresh septum piercing, and we had to be really careful to not touch it. On the same day when she got her piercing, we went shopping together. And while we were in that narrow fitting room together, I was trying on some shirts while she was talking to me, and I was super anxious as to not touch her nose. So I tried to take up as little space as I could, but a fitting room is not spacious. And I think Rachel didn't even think about it at all. She took up all the space while she was talking. Like, she gestures and moves around like that when she talks. And by her sudden movements while talking, she happened to move her face forward at the same time where I lifted my arms up to like get that shirt off of me. And at that exact timing, her nose hit my elbow or like my arm when I like took off my shirt. Oh, that girl cursed like a sailor and kept saying, you hit me, I'm bleeding. And she was making such a scene. When we exited that fitting room, everyone was looking at us. I didn't even got to apologize because she cursed me the fuck out, even though this was clearly an accident. I didn't even feel like talking to her anymore. That was so dumb. We went to the pharmacy to get her some antiseptic. And she went up to the pharmacist and went,
I need to disinfect my piercing because she hit me.
The pharmacist didn't really say anything, but she gave me the look. It was so embarrassing, and I would have said something, but I knew that would have agitated Rachel more than it already did, and I didn't want her to yell at me in a pharmacy. So on the way home, she didn't shut up about how I hit her, and she was talking so much she didn't even realize that I haven't said a word to her since that accident. I was so over it. I was so over it that I just walked away while we were waiting for the bus. She didn't really give a crap that I left, and she got into the bus without me. But literally 10 minutes later, she bombarded my phone about how sorry she was. I didn't respond, and the next day she broke up with me via text. Again, breaking up with a text, what's up with that? Why do so many people do that? But, you know, when she broke up, I was already so done at that point, I didn't really mind. That was the least painful breakup I've ever had in my life because I was already so done with the relationship and her. But Rachel did seem to mind it a lot though, even though she was the one initiating the breakup. I had so many anonymous, blocked calls, and when I answered, it was just Rachel sobbing into the phone. And she still stalks my social media to this day, so yes, hi Rachel, I know you're watching this. At some point, a year after breakup, we even tried to become friends with each other. But that didn't last long because, you know, she's just not a good person. The one time we went clubbing together, by the way, she brought along some acquaintances, and that's how I met Heather, my straight girl crush, if you remember that video. And Heather and me actually got together a second time, but I'm not sure if it's worth a video. Do I really want to expose her again? That's not really nice. What do you say?